Yeah, I would actually agree with you on that. But mostly because I brought it up. But whatever, we're not
Yeah.
arguing.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
just
I was
just
gonna hear
just two white guys getting along the way it should be. But
that.
somebody who would say stuff like that there is I gotta ask you about Anthony Cumia. And now for the record, I fucking love him. I think he's hilarious.
Yeah. I thought he
Uh,
was really funny when I did his show.
Yeah, I interviewed him once right in the middle of I'll be honest, a brutal diarrhea attack, but I had to go along with it because he's kind of hard to pin down. But there's no denying that Anthony Cumia has a shit ton of controversy around him for stuff that he's been accused of, stuff that he's admitted to, and frankly, a lot of a lot of Twitter rants, a lot of shit he said on the show in the past. So, what's it like being involved with someone who has so many critics around him, plus also a lot of controversy?
You know what I noticed the most about being in New York is because I was in the same situation as you, of like just being from not here, right, but kind of watching the stuff that was going on with it, and it kind of feels like the same way with the politicians, where it's like, man, these people are all fighting and there's all these enemies and there are all these groups. Then you get here and no one gives a shit. It's kind of like Roadrunner and whatever, you know what I'm talking about, Coyote, right? Where it's like, you see all these politicians trashing each other, and then you see them like out to lunch together, right? It's like all these people are fucking, Anthony Cumia's such a race. Then you see everyone like at the comedy club, and everyone does a show, and no one actually gives a shit. It's all like a big fucking like lie because everyone has to work together, so no one cares. So I felt like when you're actually in it, I was like, everyone's like, oh, Anthony Cumia is racist, this and that, and you come here and you're like, no one gives a shit. Like everyone would do a show, and no one gives a fuck. It's only like normal people that aren't in comedy that care. So I kind of almost all that stuff that I felt was controversy when I got here, I'm like, oh, it's nothing. And then in person, I think he's like one of the sharpest dudes. So I think he's really, really quick and really, really funny. But there is some element of that kind of like edgy boy kind of material where you're like the edgy kind of doing race stuff and pushing those boundaries. That's a hard game, and it takes a lot of energy. So I feel like sometimes it's sort of a young man's game. And doing 4 hours of edgy boy stuff, it's like hard to not just get lazy and it start to just be racist.
Yeah, yeah, but that's the thing about Anthony. Like, I love him, but I don't think he should be doing a podcast every day during the week because
It's a
you're
lot,
going to.
dude.
Yeah, because I do one a week, and even at that, I'm like, I need a fucking vacation.
Yeah, dude, it's a lot. So I kind of see you see a lot of these people. They either go either way. Most guys that were like edgy boys, whatever. And I mean, I'd probably put myself in that, but you kind of go one way or the other, where you either like kind of flip and you're like, oh, I disavow who I was and try to be a Hollywood guy, or and they're like, yo, what I was doing was different. I was playing a character, or whatever fucking excuse they make to like disavow their past, like what Sacha Baron Cohen and Amy Schumer and all those people do. Or you see it the other way, where they kind of go like far to the other way, where you get the Gavin McInnes's, and then that only lasts for like a year or two, and then you see them kind of just they kind of fizzle out because they just go so fucking all in, right? And you're like, it's easier to go all in than it is to stay on the line, because being on that line, it actually takes a lot of energy, and it takes, whereas like kind of just fucking letting it go and be like, fine, think what you want, I'm a Nazi, and just do whatever you want. That's a little easier, right? So I think it's the being on the line that takes a lot of energy, and as people get older and been doing this for too long, they kind of start to just drift one way or the other.
Yeah, that's one of the problems. On my most recent episode I released, me and this guy, we were joking and we did two race jokes during the episode, but I have a really bad habit of this thing, silent laughing.
Yeah.
Where somebody tells a joke and you go,
but most people are listening on audio.
yeah. So I made two race jokes during the thing, and the guy was silent laughing. So it's like there's like 4 seconds of silence after a certain word was used, and it's like I maybe should have censored that. And you're like, oh fuck, but
I don't know, dude. It's a fucking tough one. I'm like, it's a new world. I'm like, if you're gonna be a podcaster, what are you gonna do? Just fucking censor everything you do? Like, I'm not sure of the move. I mean, I've had people complain about me for this and that. I don't know, dude. What are you gonna do, right? Like, it is what it is. It's like I don't think I can win at what I want to do and make great things if I'm completely playing within their rules. And then if you don't play in their rules, you're not allowed to, they don't want you in their things. So I'm not really sure what the answer is, but
I always
just
always
try to live
have.
with your own conscience.
I always think always have a photograph with a black guy on standby on your phone. So if someone's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, Ryan Long's racist," like, "Oh, I'm so racist." Tweet. Well, if I'm so racist, there's me and what is that? Barack Obama? I don't know. One of them.
Well, I mean, the truth is, like, dude, so my family is like, my family has less white people in it than it has other races. Just the way that, everyone married and all my cousins are this and that. Where I grew up in the most multicultural fucking city in the world. Half my friends were black, half my friends are white. That's just what it was. So when I come here and you're like, all these fucking white people that grew up in white areas and went to white schools are like, you're being mean to black people. It's like, you don't even know any. Like, these people aren't pussies. They don't like, they don't want fucking people to treat them like there's some fucking other thing. So I don't know. The way I grew up is everyone talks shit to everyone. So it's kind of this like when you go to white people that don't even know, they didn't grow up in an ethnic area, they went to fucking drama school, and then they're gonna tell me like how I should act about to my family and my friends. It's like, you don't know what you're talking about. So they're idiots, right? So you can't listen to them because they're wrong, but you gotta you know but then there's the other side of it where you can make a race joke about like something like you said, where you're kind of like, two white guys the way it should be, and you'll have someone in the crowd be like, fucking right it is, and you're like, I mean, I'm kidding, but so it can go the other way.
Yeah, I did a thing where I don't know if you know her name, but her name's Katie Hopkins, and she's basically a right wing activist.
Okay.
And I interviewed her, but she's a download gold mine, because everybody who supports her wants to support her. Everybody who hates her wants to hear what she's saying, so they can complain. So the numbers are just going, and I was like, oh shit. So, and I'm getting all these new Twitter followers and all these DMs going, I loved your podcast when you spoke about that Muslim issue. You should do another one where you talk about the gays. And it's like, I've no problems with gays or Muslims, but retweet my last thing,
Yeah, dude, it's a tough one. I'm not, because you're like, you don't want to lean into that thing. I mean, again, I feel like one thing is I've been doing this stuff for like almost 20 years now or whatever, doing entertainment in some form. So I have a pretty solid internal compass that can't be swayed by, internet comments or people that like me or people that don't like me. So I guess that's the only thing you can do, is try to have your own gauge that based on your own experiences, that you're not getting swayed by fucking racists that want you to be their internet dad and they want to control you, right?
Oh, yeah. But enough about Anthony Cumia.
He's so many people's internet dad, dude. There's all those like I mean, you said you're one of them, like old school, like O&A message board guys. Like, those guys are fucking, they want to control people on the internet and tell them what to do. You know what I mean?
I think Anthony Cumia, it's his fault that PC culture started, because, oh God, he had an army of trolls. But
he did, yeah.
But at the end
I know
of
a
the
lot
day,
of people that were part of that army of trolls.
I know. But at the end of the day, Anthony Cumia's got lovely big brown eyes, and that's the main thing in life.
He's so sharp, dude. Even I heard him on, he was like, I was at the stand and he was on Legion of Skanks, and I was like watching for like an hour, and I'm just like, he's just like, he really is like one of the quickest people in the world. So it's kind of interesting to watch how fast his brain works, which I always think is cool. Even if you don't like someone, like I think that about Russell Brand, who I don't really like his comedy or anything, but I don't even really like his opinions. But then when I watch him, you watch him like whatever, just shooting the shit with someone, and it is interesting how fast his brain works sometimes. So there's lots of people you can not like but appreciate their like talent.
Well, I loved how fast his acting career went, because apparently he's a cunt face.
Oh, really?
Yeah.